First things you want to do when you're trying to improve your yard, if the yard was burnt out like this, like you may have seen in a previous video, is to come in and de-thatch the yard. Thatching is the process of using a machine, like you see here. Kind of looks like a lawnmower. That's going to come in and bring up just the dead thatch that's in the yard. You see here. It's going to get the ground prepped so that after this is raked up and hauled away, you're ready to do your reseeding, core aerification, and then your top dress, which we'll see in later videos. Here you can see the difference between the yard that's being thatched and parts of the yard that have not been done yet. In a couple seconds, we'll show how the job is raked up and then get prepped for aeration, seeding, and then finally top dressing. But this is a process that we call thatching or dethatching. This is step one in the thatching process. As you can see, all the loose thatch or loose debris that has come up after using the thatching machine. Step number two now will be the most labor-intensive part of this job, and that's the raking and removal of the loose debris. Step two to repairing your damaged, beaten up lawn, or something that you may just want to do on a normal basis twice a year to ensure having a great lawn, is core aerification. Core aerification, again, looks kind of like a lawnmower. And what this is going to do core aeration will do is actually take a core of soil or a plug out of the ground, like this right here. That's why they call it core aerification. After this is done, any seeding that gets done during the yard will then be put down on the ground, which we'll probably see in a little bit. And then we top truss with a compost soil. But this is going to allow the seed to penetrate into the ground, allow our irrigation, our water to go into the ground more effectively. And when this is done at least once, if not twice a year, this is going to get you more enhanced and better lawn results. This process is known as core aerification, and usually this can be done for about $99 on a property up to about a quarter of an acre. So step two in our renovation process, to try to get this lawn back and reestablished, is your core aerification. There's really only two different ways we like to reseed a PennyGreen. Regular overseeding, which is either done by hand like you see here, or done with a spreader, and then seeding with a top coat or a top dress. And what that'll do is, you'll see in a later video, it'll actually bury the seeds with a very, very light coating over on top of the lawn. This will almost guarantee a high germination rate. You can see with the hand seeding, that'll go right down onto the soil and it incorporates itself right in with the dirt. Some of that seed actually is going right into the aeration holes that we created when we aerated. Try to give us a really, really good germination rate. You can see our cores of soil almost look like little geese turds. This is an effective way to seed in very small, tight areas. Not recommended for large football fields, but in tiny little areas like what we're doing right here, this is really the way you want to reseed. Direct, target, keep the seed out of the flower beds. Effective way to get a very, very good germination rate. Final part of the process is seeding and top dressing. Here, because we're in a real tight area, we're just going to simply throw the seed down so it's targeted correctly, all in the bare areas that are here on the lawn that you can see. And we usually put this down very excessive at a rate of 2 to 3, even 5 pounds per 1,000 square foot. So on a typical 10,000 square foot property, we'll probably use 50 to 100 pounds of the grass seed. This is an endophyte enhanced seed. It's genetically bred to be more disease, insect, and drought resistant. It's a tall fescue than any other grass that's available on the market. And this is used only by PennyGreen. Or should I say, that's the only grass seed that PennyGreen will use. So when we go to do the top dressing, the process is simple. Thatch, aerate first. Then you're going to throw the seed down in these open areas, and then you're going to want to put a thin layer of what we use is mushroom soil on top of now the bare areas. So you're going to have your soil, your seed, and then this soil, almost like making a sandwich, all incorporated. Now the trick here is we don't want this to be put on too thick. If the soil's put on too thick in the bare areas, the seed's never going to germinate. It's too thick. It's going to be buried. So what we have to do is, after everything is thrown down on these areas, we need to get a rake and then rake it through so it's very, very fine, very, very thin. So it's only a couple millimeters or so thick on top of the abundance of seed that's put down. What we like to do is we like to mix seed in with the soil as we're throwing it down as like extra seeding for the yard. Your germination rate on this is close to 80 to maybe even 90, 100%. It's incredible. Whereas if you come in and strictly just throw the seed down with no covering, the seed's not protected, it's not going to germinate. If you come in with a power seeding unit, all you're going to do is rip up this yard. They have blades that are slicing it up, almost like you're thatching, and then you're left with a mess. We're getting almost 100% of the area seeded, top dressed, so then when this area comes back in a month or so, this is going to be a nice thick green carpet. You might use 1 pound per seed per 1,000 square foot. PennyGreen, we're going to use upwards to 5 pounds per seed. So we get a nice thick carpet. Again, merely just throwing dirt on top of the lawn is not really a successful way to top dress. You need then to come in, rake through the soil so it's at a very, very fine or thin coating on top of the seed. If we have some seed on top of the soil, so be it. That was mixed in with our soil. But then the seed that's buried now has nowhere to go but up. So it's like making a sandwich when you top dress. You want to prep your area first with thatching and aeration. You want to heavily throw your seed down at a rate of almost 5 pounds per 1,000 square foot. Throw your soil on top. That's like your other slice of bread. And then rake it through very, very fine so that the seed is buried and can go nowhere but up. This has been a PennyGreen video report on top dressing. And we're the company that always calls you back. Hey, in a month I'm going to reshoot this backyard video, and you're going to see the difference in the before and after. We'll make that video for you the first week of October. Thanks again. Bye-bye.